Right now, are nudey portraits narcissistic? Yesterday's Times claimed artists and photographers are being commissioned in ever greater numbers to capture ordinary women in all their glory, which doesn't chime with the stat that 98% of you girls hate your shape, does it? The pop singer Rihanna, she reckons every woman should have nude pictures taken of themselves in their prime so that you can never forget how good you looked before you started cluttering up the planet with little consumers. Which is all very well if you started out in life as lithe as Rihanna did, but not if you look like Vicky Pollard, I guess. And I'm not sure gazing at a picture or a painting of yourself commissioned before everything started heading south would make you feel good or full of self-loathing. According to photographers who take such snaps, you girls want a portrait for a whole range of different reasons, aside from reminding you about how hot you once looked. Some of you apparently quite enjoy the experience of peeling off and posing. It's very liberating, as we heard from one of our tweeters earlier. Perhaps, but what happens when you pick up the finished portrait? You've got to decide where to hang it. The bedroom? Fine. The dining room? Oh. Have you ever thought about this, Kirsty?
He's eyeing me there. I haven't commissioned anyone, no, to take a picture or paint me nude.
Box.
No.
Yeah, you adverse
I
to the
have
idea.
never been naked in a photograph or anything. I've done fashion shoots where I've not been wearing as much, or they can obviously sort of slightly fake it so that you look like you're not wearing a top, but I'm always wearing a top. So actually, no, I haven't. And would I do it? No, I wouldn't. But I can see why some people might do it.
But is it narcissism?
Well, this is what I was going to say. I think maybe for some people, obviously, it is quite narcissistic. But for others, I think they might think of it as sort of modern art, kind of arty, different. Because when you look at, Picasso's, or if you look at old paintings of abstract art, say, a lot of them are of nudes. And I'm just thinking, rather than that, I'm just giving them a chance here. I'm just giving them a chance, that's all I'm saying.
But you would have no interest whatsoever in doing it?
No. Not to go, oh, I look like that before I had 3 kids.
Because that's the bit that I kind of think, would I feel good thinking, look, kids, I used to look like that. That's what I would have thought. It's the opposite.
The only reason I do it is for a modern art...
So not necessarily a straight picture, but something slightly more avant-garde.
I would want to do something more abstract.
Okay. Debbie Moore had herself photographed on the front of Vanity Fair when she was pregnant, and that was kind of interesting.
But it was interesting because that was the first, and then there's a succession of them, and you end up with, I don't know, Kerry Katona and a couple of large dumplings with a fag hanging out of her mouth, and it's not got quite the same allure.
Not the same, no, absolutely.
Do you think is it an act of narcissism?
Well, I certainly wouldn't do it. Have you seen me in Extras? Would I put the country through that again? I don't know. Look at the Calendar Girls. They felt liberated by it, didn't they?
And they've gone on to make a load of money.
Yeah, and the women from the WI felt absolutely liberated. But then, of course, it was strategically placed.
And it was done for the right reasons, for charity. It wasn't an issue, which is slightly different than paying somebody, your hard-earned wedge, to do a picture of you, which you then presumably hang at home.
Yeah, I don't see it at all.
You quite like the idea, Dave.
No, I can see the argument. I can see that... I think there is an element of narcissism in it, of course. But I think for a lot of women, it is quite liberating, and you read the reports there, they feel sensual, women generally, I think, I might be speaking out of turn, generally are hypercritical of the bodies. Yeah. And so to have a picture taken when they think they are still beautiful, and if it boosts their self-esteem and their confidence and their sensuality, I think that's a good point.
Can I throw this spanner in the works, or potential spanner in the works? Is there an element that they are buying into showbiz culture, that they see so many images of celebrities?
Well, you're blaming Gok.
Well, maybe,
How to look good
maybe,
naked.
And you see all these pictures and you think, I want to buy into that. I want to be the sex goddess.
Yeah.
And
I don't know, I think it's for their own self-esteem.
The trouble is so many of the images that we see are so distorted and manipulated and airbrushed, and the makeup or whatever, there's so many things done to them that the image that we buy into doesn't really exist, and there we are trying to recreate it.
Isn't there also a question of that when you look back at photos of yourself, or you have a photo now, you go, oh, I hate that photograph, but then when you look later on, you think, I looked OK then. So you're always looking back and kind of regretting the fact that you don't look the same anymore. Do you know what I mean?
But then you see, I think it works both ways. That you could look back and think, oh, I used to look good, or you might think, oh God, I wished I looked like that now.
Yeah.
Let's throw it open to you, and I also want to know where you hang these pictures, Kirsty.
OK, we have Sharon first on line 1.
Sharon, good morning.
Good morning.
You done it?
Yes, I have.
What? A photograph, painting?
I had some photographs taken.
Why?
Well, it started, basically, my husband and I were having marital difficulties. Right. We'd gone through several courses of IVF treatment, all of which had failed.
Right.
And this obviously had a knock-on effect to our relationship.
For
sure. I love, he had, problems in that area, performance, etc. And it had a knock-on effect to my confidence and self-esteem. And I decided to get the pictures done for him as a surprise Christmas present. I love my husband very much, despite, everything that we've gone through. We're not quite out of the woods yet, but we're both trying very hard.
Good.
And things are pretty good.
Good.
But he was deeply touched and moved when I presented him with the album.
Did you feel good about? Did you feel good about them, Sharon? I mean, both with the process of being photographed and seeing the pictures. I mean, wherever they are at home.
Yeah, I mean, they're in an album. They're not on display
Right.
or anything. It's just something personal between myself and my husband. But yeah, I felt, liberated, empowered. They are very sensual, and I'm happy that I've had them done.
But you know what, Sharon? For me, the critical part is that you have chosen to put them in an album, and I think every part of the story is wonderful. I think it's a great story. Had you said, they're above the dining room table, I would form a slightly different view. And I wish you the best with your quest. I think it's a great tale. Thank you very much, Sharon. Let's have another.
OK, we have Jonathan next.
Would you do it, Kirsty?
No, I wouldn't. But I've been to a house where you walk into the hallway and there's this massive portrait, and I didn't realise until I was leaving that it was the lady that owned the house. But it's the thing about the album, if you take that one out thinking it's the wedding album to show everyone, that scares me. We have Jonathan next on line 3.
OK, Jonathan, good morning.
Matthew.
Brilliant, a fella, excellent.
Yeah,
well, you would be with a name like Jonathan.
First of all, may I just say that you must ask yourself, have the stars aligned today? You have two visions of beauty in the studio, the two Kirstys.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous women. I mean, surely this has to be a good day for all concerned at Channel 5.
What about you? What about you, Jonathan? Flattery aside for the Kirstys, would you entertain the idea of being painted in the nude?
Yes, I do. I would. I think it's extremely important, especially in this country where we're very, very uptight about nudity and about sex in general. I think it's something we should learn much younger. I'm not too young, obviously, because the police get involved. But I think we should really learn. We should really learn how to express ourselves in the buff. I really do. And I think we would become a much more open nation, like our European brothers and sisters. I really do. I think it's a very healthy thing.
OK, it's really interesting. It's really, really interesting. You said not when you're really, really young, because my favourite picture of me that my mum has at home is of me aged about 18 months in the bath. And, the idea that, a photograph of a child in the nude could be pervy, I just still find that really difficult. The police need to be called. I still find that very strange. Where would you hang your picture, Jonathan?
Probably at an album. I think it's a bit weird if it's too out there, Yeah. I think it's a very personal and private thing,
Rowena Pelling...
I think it's a good thing, I do.
Rowena Pelling, the editor of the Erotic Review, which, bizarrely, contrary to its title, is about the least erotic read you can find, she had two pictures, paintings of her commissioned in the nude, one of which is at home, the other one is in the toilet at Chelsea Arts Club.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea, but I wouldn't want one as a present. Well, there's your Christmas present, but, I wanted an iPod. I mean, my wife's a beautiful woman, but I'd rather see her in some sexy lingerie than a picture of her. She's there. Why would I It's bad enough with the see-through negligee on when you can... She's got a T-shirt and boxer shorts. No, but she's there. Put some sexy underwear on. It's real.
Now, thank you for that last call, Jonathan. Thank you. The idea of getting the two Kirstys together for a photo session is... I can see Eric's very keen on the idea as well. You got your Snappy Snaps camera with you to this morning as well, haven't you? Yeah. Dear. Now, after the... Oh, dear. After the ads...
It's only 10:30, 10:45.
I know, which going to give us a few problems with our next talking point, our last of the day, which is could gory birthing programmes like One Born Every Minute turn out to be the ultimate contraceptive